What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and the day is here. The review scores are out. We're going to talk about them. We're going to talk about what the positives of people are saying, the negatives, but also a couple of important life lessons that I just want to reiterate that I've said so many times on the channel, but I want to say them again. So, starting out with the facts, what we actually have, it has an 86 average on Metacritic based off of 42 reviews. Not too many. I think what we have found based off social media, based off pretty much everything, they were pretty picky with who they gave this game to. I do expect that number to go up just slightly, but I don't really think we're getting into the 80s, 90s, 100s for the amount of sites that did reviews. Now, whether some sites didn't do reviews because they were scared of it, whether they didn't do reviews because they weren't given the code, I don't know. There is a report kind of going around, I think an IGN employee said it, that there are sites that are legitimately afraid of reviewing this game, so they, as of right now, they're not doing it. That I find very funny, but an 86. Now, I had predicted 83 to 85. I am so close with these review score predictions. I just know how game journalists think in my noggin up there. So we are going to talk about some of the positives and negatives, but and this is going to be a lot about the scores, a lot about personal opinion. If you're looking here for like all the new details we found in this game, I'm not really going to go through it. The game is out for some people. If you do an Xbox trick, right, you can play it right now. There's so many people, I think, in the world that are going to play this game within the next 24 hours. I don't really want to go into all like the new spoiler things that we learned from these videos or from these reviews. I want to focus in on this kind of like messaging that I believe is important, and I just want to say it, a couple more times. So nothing changes with this game getting a good score versus a bad score. I've had this opinion for multiple years. I've talked about this specifically for Hogwarts, and it is true. We thought Hogwarts was going to be pulled down because of you-know-who. And honestly, I don't know if it was. I actually don't think it was. There were a few sites that had it in like a little note section in the bottom, a separate section in the middle. IGN did that, right? They did like a note concerning her, and they wrote about it. Honestly, a lot of the sites seem to have taken a high road, seem to have admitted we're separating it. Whether you want to play it or not, that's totally up to you, and we can have that discussion separately, but we're here to review the game. And to be quite honest, they deserve some credit for that. I bag on them so much, but you know what? When the time came, they were annoying leading into it, but when the time came, they did it. They actually did. Now, whether that was in their mind when they were reviewing the game, that we can never fully know. But the fact of just kind of admitting, you can have that discussion, and it's okay if you don't want to buy it, and it's okay if you do want to buy it, but we're here to review the game right now, and so we're going to talk about the game. We're not going to go into politics. Honestly, I wish they all did that all the time, right? PS5 reviews, stuff like that. That is how you do it, and I got to give them respect there, but again, for like my messaging or what I believe in as an individual, it doesn't matter if the game got good scores versus bad, right? We were prepared to kind of say, well, if it gets bad scores, if it gets 70s, make your own decision. Well, I'm here to tell you, bluntly, honestly, do the exact same thing. It got an 86. So what? Yes, it's a high score. Yes, maybe they feel good about themselves, right? Like all these, and it is important to some people. But at the end of the day, to me, I could still care less. And I would suggest, not name call you if you don't do it, I would suggest you do the same. Make your own decisions on any game, but also this game. Make your own decisions. An 86 should mean nothing to you. I know it does mean something to some people, and that's okay. Again, that's kind of the messaging of my channel. That's totally fine. So let's go into what people were saying. Seems like a little bit of a mix. So what I've noticed is bugs, glitches, textures, that kind of stuff, that did hold the game back. I think some people focused on it a little more than others. It actually seemed like, specifically, say, IGN, they called it out, but the review score didn't really reflect that. A lot of their audience has kind of turned on them for maybe obvious reasons, but they have brought up points where, well, you compare it, or you had the same kind of issues with Forspoken, and it was a bigger deal than it is for Hogwarts. So I did see that there's maybe some graphical issues. You hope those get patched. Also, though, there is a somewhat expectation. Now, I'm not saying like it's okay to have like game-breaking, bugs and stuff. It's not. But I mean, you play any open world RPG. My wife has been replaying The Witcher 3 literally in front of me right there this entire like last week. And there are bugs. Like even for the masterful game that The Witcher 3 is, and it's also old, right? But for as masterful as it is, it definitely has problems. There are definitely bugs that pop up here and there, and they can take you away from the experience a little bit. So, I'm not saying it's okay, but I'm saying that, this does happen to pretty much every game. How much, I guess, it affects the game, right? If it majorly affects your playing experience, you got to dock some points, or you just have to think about it differently, right? So I did see that, did see combat. Overall, seemed like it was still a major positive. I think the more people, well, I don't want to say the more people, like as some people played it more, it seemed like they were talking about it getting more and more repetitive. So the combat seems a little bit more up in I'm going to honestly be very excited and very interested to see how the combat is. We've talked about that a lot. I've always liked it, like dating back to the first State of Play. When everybody got to do the preview event, they really liked the combat. And now it's like, well, the combat's still really good. I keep seeing the word unique. The combat is very unique to this game, but maybe that limits it. So who knows, right? But another thing that I have seen is maybe the more you play it, the more repetitive it gets. So I'm going to be interested to see, because that's really the main thing, right? Does it get boring? Every combat system gets repetitive. Every single combat system, you will do the same thing at some point. But is it still fun to do? Do you still enjoy it? And that's going to be, what I look for. The authenticity, obviously, is very good. I actually don't think I saw literally anybody talk about like how it doesn't look like Hogwarts or things like that. Honestly, a lot of people, right? The main kind of tagline from a lot of reviews is this is the game of, it's not maybe the game of your dreams, but this is the game like you've been waiting for. It does enough well that you're going to be happy about it. In fact, I saw some reviews talk about how they try to do everything, and because of that, it kind of hurts the game. Funny enough, I was just, and again, I'm not saying these things are right versus wrong. It's a person's opinion, and I'll tell you my opinion in a few days. But I was just talking about this on Friday with the group live stream. I feel like they were trying to do a little of everything, and I literally warned then that may work, it may not work. It may be that some things, or nothing is amazing. Everything's kind of like solid because they're shooting so many different directions. I will say this. I'll keep one more, maybe negative. The positives, combat. I did see the story is good. I did see the characters like pretty much overwhelmingly, right? I'm trying to focus on what I saw the most of, either positive, negative. One thing I did see for negative was the RPG mechanics. Not necessarily the characters like forgetting or remembering you, but some of the side quests or a lot of the side quests being repetitive, stuff like that. I am going to, again, be pretty interested in that. We've talked about the amount of this game, the length of this game, and I don't need every game to be 100 plus hours. I don't need every game to have 100 plus side quests. Now, if you do it, fine and great. And for Hogwarts Legacy, kind of the more the merrier. However, there is always a caveat there where it's, I want them to do what they feel is necessary, and I want there to be immense quality in those things. If you make 50 quests, 50 side quests, and they're all excellent, I would take that over 100 side quests that are more tedious, more fetch quests, things like that. You know what I mean? I would take the less because it's more in terms of quality. So I did see that some of the RPG mechanics are a little, lacking. But to counter it with one final positive before I get out of here and we all go play the game is the foundation. This is something I actually found pretty interesting across the board. That word, actually, foundation, was brought up a lot. This game sets the foundation. This game is a good foundation for more they can do. And that's exactly what I think it needs to be, right? Again, we've talked about people maybe forget. Avalanche, like this is their first go at a game like this. Now, that doesn't excuse anything. That doesn't, anything like that. But, like, this is their first try. So to make, ideally, just a great foundation. I mean, literally, that's how things work, right? You make a really good foundation and you build up. And as long as you got that good foundation, you're good. And honestly, for a game that is going to get sequels, right? This game's going to sell incredible. And the review scores, because they do matter to some people, they're going to go online and say, oh, is this game good? Oh, an 86? That is a good score, right? Buy it. I don't like that, but who cares? Who cares what I think? What matters is what they do with their money, right? So, but at the end of the day, you're going to get more games, and the foundation is what's important. And so as long as the foundation is good, they got a good future. And I did see that over and over. Because even if you look at the RPG stuff, right? Or you look at the side quests are maybe a little lacking. You still have the foundation of how mechanics work. You still got your visuals, all that stuff. You got the team. You got the talent. So the next game, you work on it. You make better side quests. You make maybe more, but you make them more detailed, right? That's all you do. And so there you go. An 86. I don't know. I think it was higher. So I think 19 scores went out first. It was like an 89. Then it kept going. Right now there's 42 scores. It's at an 86. It's possible it keeps going down. I predicted 83 to an 85. I think it may settle in that range, to be honest with you. But hey, it doesn't. I was going to say anything above an 8 is still good. It is. Again, so I think just the average person looking, if it gets an 82, that's still good. To me, it could have gotten a 27 today. Would have been a little shocking, but I would have still gotten it. Could have gotten a 96. That's just where I am in my life. That's just what I do. I'm going to go play it. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Make sure you guys are subscribed, bell icon turned on, and I hope to see you all on the next one.